Spider Grandmother is an important figure in the mythology, oral traditions, and folklore of many Native American cultures, especially in the Southwestern United States. In Hopi mythology, Spider Grandmother, Hopi Kokyangwuti, also called Kokyangwuti, among many other names, can take the shape of an old or timeless woman or the shape of a common spider in many Hopi stories. When she is in her spider shape, she lives underground in a hole that is like a kiva. When she is called upon, she will help people in many ways, such as giving advice or providing medicinal cures. Spider Grandmother is seen as a leader, a wise individual who represents good things. This story begins with Tawa, the sun god, and Spider Woman, Spider Grandmother, who is identified with the earth goddess. They separate themselves to create other lesser gods, then create the earth and its creatures. Spider Woman and Tawa realized the creatures they made were not alive, so they gave them souls. After this, they created woman and man from their own likeness and sang them to life. From there, Spider Woman separated creatures into tribes and lead them through the 4 great caverns. After they came to their final home, Spider Woman tells the people the roles of a woman and a man, as well as the religious practices they were to follow. It is also noted that Fred Egan found this version to be close to the Zuni creation myth. The 4 worlds and the emergence. In this narrative, Grandmother Spider is also known as the Good Spirit. She acts as a guide to the creatures in the first world, helping them travel to the higher worlds. She guides and mentors them as they change into different forms, slowly becoming more human. She leaves the creatures in the 4th world, the high world, to settle permanently. The 4 worlds. In this story of creation, Spider Grandmother, also called Kokyangwuti, is the assistant of Tawa. He sends her to the creatures living in the first world to deliver his word. Tawa was unhappy that his creations do not understand how to live. Spider Grandmother guides the creatures on their journeys through the worlds as their physical appearances change to be more human. In the 3rd world, she taught them how to weave and make clay pots. While in the 3rd world, the people began to turn away and forget Tawa. Because of this, Spider Grandmother was sent to let the few who were still good know that it was time to leave the others behind. With the help of the Pokani-Hoya and the chipmunk, Spider Grandmother advised and led the people to the upper world where they would reside. Spider Grandmother helped the people create the sun and moon, advised the people on how and where to travel, and on religious practices. Other myths. In the destruction of Awatavi, a Walpi Reed clan version, Spider Grandmother uses her special glass to find a missing woman for Coyote and his grandmother. Coyote and his grandmother are searching for this missing woman, while her husband is taking care of their children at home. In the village at Lameva, how the Reed clan came to Walpi, Spider Grandmother guides her 2 grandsons, who are both named Pakanghoya, to create people out of mud. The brothers assume she brought the mud people to life. Later in the story, she acts as a guide to one of the mud people village members named Sikyakoku. Spider Grandmother advises Sikyakoku on his journey to find a hunting dog for the village. She tells him how to appease the village of dogs in order to give him one of their members. In Destruction by Fire, how the village of Pivanhonkapi perished, Spider Grandmother saves the Oribi village from being burned down by the neighboring witches. Spider Grandmother spun a magical web over the village and having the people douse it with water. In the races at Sikuvi, why the Payupki people departed, Spider Grandmother helps the people in the Payupki village win races against the Tsikuvi village, whose members had been rude to her. She helped them by putting a special medicine on their best runner's legs. Later in the story, she changes into her spider form and crawls into the ear of the second runner to give her advice on how to avoid the traps set by the Tsikuvi village. At the end of the story, Spider Grandmother helped the Payupki village escape an attack from the rival village Tsikuvi by advising the Payupki village leader to move the village and its people. In the story of Tio, Spider Grandmother is called Spider Woman, and she helps Tio on his journey to the far, far below river to see where it travels. Tio travels to the home of Spider-Woman and enters her home magically through a small hole. She gives him a special serum called Nahu to spit on his enemies to subdue them. After spending a few days in her home, Tio starts his journey to the far, far beyond river, accompanied by Spider-Woman. She advises him on the tests and challenges of his journey and threatens to leave him if he does not follow her direction. Tio completes this journey with Spider-Woman's help, and from this he gains wisdom and knowledge.